Hello, third graders.
Hi, third graders.
Welcome back to the TV classroom.
We're happy to have you.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It is.
It's gorgeous outside. It's sunny. We got a fan, so now we won't be super hot all day long.
That was distracting me yesterday.
It was me too. It was. We filmed our SEL lesson for third grade yesterday. You'll see in the lesson it got really warm and it was really hard to focus. So know that even your teachers sometimes have a hard time focusing because we're all humans. So before we get started though, let's check in with our zones and make sure we have all the things we need to focus for today.
Let's do that.
How's your brain feeling? I'm not actually tired. How's your body feeling? How are your emotions?
So should we do a check-in of the brain versus the body?
Sure.
What a great idea, Mr. Kevin.
Great idea. How about you go first, Mr. Kevin?
Okay. Brain's in the green zone. Body is in the blue zone.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I got backaches. You know,
I
students,
do
when you
know.
get older, you're going to have some aches and pains.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens.
Especially if you fall down.
Especially if you fall down.
Oh, yeah. Mrs. Wally's advice is don't fall down.
Don't fall down.
Just don't
Don't
do
fall
it.
down.
Don't do it.
How are you?
My brain is in the green zone. My body's in the blue zone just because of my shoulder.
Yeah.
But I know I yawned, but I've been having this here. It goes again.
There it is again. Uh-oh.
It's been this thing lately where I'm reading a book to Oliver or I start yawning.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
Yawns are contagious. Did you know that?
I just yawned because
And
you did.
I'm not going to go any further into
Yep.
that. Otherwise, we'll off the tails. How are you today?
I'm good. So my brain is in the green zone. I'm focused. I can think. I'm tired because I didn't sleep great last night. So I'd say my body's in the blue zone. Tired.
We switched.
We did
The
switch.
night before you slept great and I didn't, and then we switched.
Now
you
here
know,
we are.
it happens. But guess what? We're still here. We're still going to do our job.
We
We
are.
don't give up when things are hard.
Oh, and you know what? I'm kind of energized because we're doing something new for third grade today.
I know. And this is one of my favorite things to do because little known fact about Mrs. Wally, writing sentences was and still can be very tricky for me. But when I learned this,
Yeah.
it's so
It's
helpful.
what you needed.
So today, before we get started, it's really, really important that you follow along with us and you make this grid in your writing journal or on a piece of paper that you're not going to lose. Or if you have a big piece of paper, you could make a poster along with us. Super important that you follow along with us to do it.
So today and every day when we come together, we agree to
Show respect, make good decisions, solve problems. And one way we are showing respect from now on here in the TV classroom, is making sure that we are recognizing and honoring the indigenous lands and peoples.
And we actually just had a conversation about the word indigenous.
We did, didn't we? It was a wonderful conversation.
It really was. And that's why it's nice to have a thinking partner with whom you feel safe to collaborate and think, because we are wondering if the word indigenous is the best word for us to be using.
Or Ms. Osmond brought up a good point. Different people feel differently about how their group of people are labeled because it's a label. These are just people, but we want to make sure that we elevate them because we are on their land. And so we talked about, should we use the word Native American or just indigenous? And Ms. Osmond said, I think we should use all of the words because different people in that group feel differently about it and we want to be inclusive of everyone. And I thought that that was a really great approach.
Yeah, and I think that applies to a lot of other things too. So just being aware, and of course, if you have feedback for us,
Please tell us because
give us
we're
the
not
gift.
sure.
We're not sure. We're trying our best here. So what I want you to do is, if you're able, to look out your window. And I want you to notice the sky and the trees and your surroundings. If you are not able, you can use ours. Now, our physical space stands on the unceded land of the Coast Salish people. We acknowledge the Coast Salish community, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. We made this acknowledgement as part of our work to dismantle the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism and white supremacy. And as Mrs. Wally said, this is our effort at a sign of respect, honoring the people who were here first. And as we finish out our school year, we're going to every day take a moment, notice our surroundings, honor the people who were here first, and talk more about what we can do
as members of this community to elevate these people.
Change perspectives. Yep. Oh, okay.
I'm actually very excited about it.
I am too. Yeah. All right. Thinking back to our
scientific process. And it's a process because it goes around and around, and you just keep going to all the different things. We haven't talked about that white box yet, but we'll get there. And you learn more, and then you have more questions, and every time you answer a question, I like to use the word spawn because I know students who play video games know that, like, what that means. It creates more questions or spawns more questions in your brain that helps you dig deeper and deeper and deeper and be more and more curious.
So we have definitely been making observations.
Yes, we
Lots
have.
of observations about forces in motion. We've asked a lot of questions. We've shared data and ideas.
We did some reading.
We did do some reading.
We did.
We had a text that we read.
And then we went out and started to kind of test our thinking and ideas, gathering data and understanding forces in motion. We went to the LeMay Car Museum.
We did. We went to Alchemy Skate.
And we looked and talked about how the things we learned about forces in motion applied in the real world. And now, put it all together and wrap a bow on it.
We are.
But not be done, because then we're going to have more questions.
I know. Ugh, we always just have more questions. But today, hopefully, we will be answering some of our questions.
We will be.
Two of the questions that we have been talking about are, how do objects move or remain still? And how do we use forces to solve problems?
Thinking about Alchemy Skate. What was a problem you could solve using forces by the people who invented the skateboard? Why do we think they invented it? It could be for fun. It could also be to travel.
You go faster from A to B when you're on wheels.
Much faster than walking.
Let's review our big science words.
What's that?
I know. I need Mr. Kevin.
Big science word.
Our word is
Force.
A push or a pull on something.
I had a force when I fell.
You did. No, you fell.
Gravity was the force that pulled on me.
It was. Ouch.
I lost my balance, and it's all right. It was actually a very good example of force and gravity.
Unfortunate.
When I fell, I actually thought about it. I'm like, I actually talked to my third graders about this because this is gravity at work.
Yes, it is. We did a lot of thinking about what we think we know about force and what questions we had. So get this T-chart out in front of you.
And review.
And review what you thought you knew. Have we answered any of your questions?
Right.
What other questions came up?
And what have you learned? And what new questions do you have? Because that's what good scientists do. Strong scientists always have questions.
You ready for our chant?
I'm here. I'm ready.
So as we do this chant, do it with us.
I'm here for it. Sorry, I interrupted you, but it was
That's
a good
okay.
one.
No, that was worth it. Always interrupt me with jokes. As we do this, pay really close attention to the structure of the sentences.
Oh, yes.
The words that they're using, what order are they in, and the description that our author, which is the Dry Creek GLAD team, used so that we can really picture in our minds what it is they want us picturing. Ready for forces here, forces there?
Oh, yeah. Forces here, forces there. Forces, forces everywhere. Invisible forces pulling downward. Gravity. Unbalanced forces exerting energy smoothly. Going down the slide. Momentous forces creating movement powerfully.
And opposite forces influencing predictably.
Forces around the playground. Forces against one another. Forces on objects around us. And forces within nature. Forces here, forces there, forces, forces everywhere. Forces, forces, forces.
Okay. And we did
The input chart.
input chart.
I think it's over there. I'm going to go grab it.
Okay. So think about what you remember from the input chart that we made about forces and motion. Take some think time.
If you remember the tug of war, that might help. Could you help me, Miss Oslin? Okay. Ooh, look at all those forces at play.
Goodness. We've learned so much.
We have. And there's more to learn about forces. This is just the very tippy top. There's also gravity, which isn't on here, and magnetism, which isn't on here. And magnetism is one of the really fun and cool forces that we get to play with that you'll learn about more as you get older.
Magnetism has helped us solve a lot of problems.
A lot. And help people get better. Like the MRI machine,
That's
if you've
exactly
heard of
what
that.
I was thinking of.
It's a machine that uses magnets to scan the insides of your body and takes little tiny pictures and put them all together. If someone has something wrong, the doctors can almost see inside your body and see what's wrong. It's not always
amazing.
perfect, but it's
No.
really amazing.
It is. So we've learned about different types of forces. We learned about balanced forces, which is the sum of the force is 0. There's no change in motion. And we learned about unbalanced forces.
And when it's unbalanced, the force that's less, it goes in that direction. If you think about Miss Oslin and I on the spin thing on the playground, when it was just Miss Oslin, she was down below because there was no other force on the opposite side. But me, who has a bigger mass, got on the opposite side, and all of a sudden she was up top where she couldn't get before.
It was an unbalanced force.
It was really fun.
It was fun. We learned about strength and direction of a force, and that more strength means more movement.
In the direction that the strength is pulling.
Friction.
Ooh, we talked a lot about that at the LeMay Car Museum. Remember, we kept adjusting our wheels, and Miss Oslin adjusted her wheels. She kept adjusting all these other things, and then when she adjusted her wheels and had less friction, boom, down her car went.
Yep.
And that friction is when an object rubs against another surface and creates static and heat, and it causes it to slow down.
Like when you ride your bike on the sidewalk, it's easier to pedal than if you were riding your bike through grass.
Correct.
Because grass is friction or adds friction. It rubs on your wheels.
But we also rely on friction to allow us to move. If you have a bike and you try to ride it on ice, you're just going to slip because there's no friction. So we do need friction to help us propel forward. But when there's too much friction, like the grass, it becomes really hard to push through that force. That force is greater than the force you're applying. Becomes unbalanced.
Oh, we learned about tug of war being an Olympic sport.
I could never play that sport. I would love to watch it. I kind of want to look on YouTube and see if there's any videos that
that would
people
be
have
cool.
posted of the sport. I mean, it was only to 1920, so I don't know if there's any video footage. I don't know. I don't think they had video footage in 1920, did they?
Yeah. Not
I don't
great,
remember.
I don't think.
But it would be really cool to see some pictures at least of
Yeah.
it.
And then the real world connections.
All day, every day.
So our balanced forces would be, a floating boat.
That's not moving.
It's not moving. It's just floating.
An unbalanced force of a boat would be like the ferries we saw and them moving across, or a boat moving across the water. The power poles.
Yep.
They
not
just
moving.
things not moving. A seesaw, if both people have the same mass and they're not teetering.
You're just sitting there.
Pretty much everything you see that's not moving is a balanced force.
Yeah. Unbalanced forces, like,
Riding a skateboard.
riding a skateboard, you make the force unbalanced.
By pushing or moving your body.
Surfing,
Oh, yeah. And did you know? Well, they do know because they saw surfing and skateboard. Skateboarding came from surfing.
and then a seesaw where the people are actually moving,
Yep.
right? That's
Either their
unbalanced.
masses are different or they're exerting force with their feet and their body.
And then a rocket.
Yeah, well, that has a big unbalanced force when it
does.
shoots up into the sky.
Okay, this is the new thing that we're going to
So excited.
try today.
Okay. I think we should do our nouns and our verbs first,
Yes.
and then the adjectives and the
Yes.
adverbs.
Okay, so this chart is called a sentence patterning chart, and it's going to help us think about the parts of speech or different types of words that make up a sentence. We're going to come up with different words that help us talk about forces in motion, and then your job will be to take these words, so make sure you're writing them down so you have notes.
Yep, so you want to make your page look just like this.
You're going to take this sentence patterning chart, and independently, that's where you're going to create sentences that answer our questions. How do objects move or remain still? And how do we use forces to solve problems?
So for right now, I want you to think about nouns. Nouns are a person, place, thing, or idea that relates to these two questions. How do objects move or remain still? And how do we use forces to solve problems? So think about the types of objects, the people who exert force. What are some ideas of some nouns that we might use when talking about objects moving or remaining still, and solving problems? I have one. Ferry boat. That's two words I just didn't.
That's okay.
I'm going to put a hyphen there just so that they know.
How about a force is a noun?
It's a force is the push or a pull on something. So is it a noun? Or is it a verb because it's an action?
A force is a push or a pull on something.
A force is an action because you exert a force.
Oh.
Mr. Kevin, what do you think? I
Agreed.
could go either way.
No.
There are words like this in our language where it could be a noun or a verb depending on how you're using it in the sentence,
So like the sentence I just said, a force,
which is a thing,
so it would be a noun in that case.
right? Maybe it is a
Gravity
noun.
is a force.
It's a thing,
It's or an idea.
an idea. Are you looking it up, Mr. Kevin?
I am.
God, right off the bat, we're
I think you're right. I think that you have swayed me. This happens when you work with a teammate and a thinking partner.
they help
notice
you think
we-
about things differently.
They did. You notice we gave our own opinions and we started talking, and then we're going to see what Mr. Kevin says. We're going to hold on that one and keep
Okay.
going. He'll get
Okay.
back to us. Yes, Mr. Kevin? That was quick.
All right. A force is not something that an object contains or has in it. The idea of a force is not limited to living things or non-living things. All objects, living and non-living, can apply a force on or to another object. Also,
make it an
all
action.
objects, living and non-living, can be affected by forces. That
Does it-
really
Does it tell you if it's a noun or a verb?
that didn't.
That made me go back to being a verb.
I know.
Ooh, this is but it's so good we're talking about
know.
this.
Let's see. Force is a transitive verb.
Yep.
Transitive
It
verb.
means it can be used as a noun if you use it in a sentence a certain way.
Okay. Well, let's
So
list
put
it
it
both
in the verb.
places.
So we're going to put it both places because it depends on how you put it in the sentence. Am I correct on that, Mr. Kevin?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so force. But when I put it into the noun, I'm going to put a little asterisk by
Yeah.
it to remember that it has to be used as the article of speech of noun in our sentence.
Yes.
It has to be used as the noun, not
Yes.
as an action.
Because
Okay,
you
so
can
we're-
describe a type of force.
Right.
Yep.
So, and I probably just put that all in the adverb because that's where it normally is, and it's only transitive if it's okay.
Woo.
That was a good lesson in language that we weren't expecting. I love it when that
love it.
happens.
Okay.
Okay, other nouns.
To a noun. Oh, skateboard.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Can we just?
Now, I always get confused on skateboard. Is it a compound word or two words?
I think it's a compound word.
Okay.
That means skate board put together.
Yeah, but ice cream put together. But it's not a compound word, so yeah. Swing. Rope. Car. I could keep going, but I want to.
Object.
What's the object, though? We want to be more specific than object.
Well, it's in our sentence. How do objects move or remain still? So objects move or remain still by or because.
Okay.
And then that could be the topic sentence, and then within the body of one of our paragraphs,
Right.
we give lots of different descriptions.
Objects move or remain still in many different ways.
Hooked.
Like what ways? I want to know.
Gosh, I need to know. Okay.
A few more.
We're talking about forces.
I'm trying to link it to some of our nature field trips. Trying to think of forces in nature. What are some things that are forces pushed and pulled in nature?
Like wind.
Right. So trees, water, what about the limpets that sucked to the wall?
Yeah. Seeds.
Okay.
Whew, that's a long list of nouns.
It's great. Look at all those things you could write about. Okay, now let's talk about the actions.
Okay, the verbs.
Well, push, pull. I have one. Accelerate.
Oh.
Right? The cars accelerate.
Accelerating.
I'm going to need help spelling that one, friends, here on.
X-E-X. E-R. Excel. Oh, Mr. Kevin, yeah.
A. Accelerate.
ACC.
ACC.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Kevin.
See, I tried to steer us wrong.
ELERATE.
Accelerate.
I knew I was going to do that. It's all right.
Okay, verb. Motion.
In a sentence, that would be, the TV teachers excel at accelerating
Learning.
their learning.
Love it. Glide.
Ooh.
Flow.
Jerk.
Ooh, yeah. Tug.
Rattle.
Ooh.
Roll.
Ride.
Float.
Yeah.
Suction. It gets really fun as
Oh
you're
my
going.
goodness,
Okay,
yeah.
we have to stop there. I
Yeah.
don't have any more space. We have to stop when we run out of space. Okay, friends. Now the two things that people mix up. I'm going to give them a clue. Can I give them a hint?
Do it.
So I always used to go, oh no, adjective, adverb, which one is it? It says verb.
It does.
Adverb describes the verb. So the other one describes the noun, which is adjective. Then you don't have to remember what an adjective is.
Nope,
if you
you
know
just
what
have
an
to remember
adverb
adverb.
is, then you know what an adjective is,
Yep.
because an adverb describes the verb, so the other one describes the noun.
Do you want to talk about your color choices?
I do. So I actually thought about this for a minute. So what I did was I used the primary colors for noun and verb. Then I chose secondary colors that were related to the primary color for the description. So orange is related to red. Purple is related to blue. I didn't use yellow because, or green. I probably could have used green here. That would have even been a better choice because it's not related to red at all, but it's good. So I did that just to kind of help link them together in my brain. Orange and red, blue and purple. So, words that describe these nouns.
Invisible. I took that from our forces here, forces there.
Large, or what's another word for large?
Huge, gigantic.
I like gigantic. Smooth.
Rough. I did an antonym there.
Textured.
Ooh.
Tall.
Light.
Heavy. Another antonym. Antonyms are opposites.
Graceful.
Ooh.
Forceful.
Forceful, I would use as an adverb.
Tell me more.
Forcefully pushed.
Okay.
Or forceful, that would be a verb. That'd be that'd be describing my action.
Okay.
Because these things by themselves are not forceful. It's the
I see.
it's the
Yep.
verbs.
Got it.
Yes.
Mrs. Wally's microphone was acting kind of
Oh
goofy.
no.
Uh-oh. Is that better?
Well, I hope so.
Okay, let me know.
Okay.
Do you mind if I cross
No,
it
I don't
off?
mind.
Okay.
See? You changed my mind there.
Tiny. Slimy.
Natural.
Natural. Beautiful? No. Well, we're out of space, so
We're out of space.
we're
Let's
out of
move on.
adjectives. Okay, now we're gonna do the adverb. The thing that describes the verb.
How do we describe the
Strong.
forceful?
Forceful. And why this was hard to decide? Look what word is in here. Our base
Force.
word is force. And so force is a
We're back to
transitive
that
noun.
again.
And so that's why it kind of feels like it could be an adjective.
Yes, it does. Okay.
Weak.
Weak. Ooh, that's really good. Sticky.
Ooh.
That's adjective.
Oh, the sticky limpet.
The sticky limpet.
Loud.
That could be adjective or adverb. Well, you wouldn't loud pull. Loud jerk.
Loud rattle is where I was going with that.
Yep, there you go.
Graceful.
Gracefully. Can we put loudly,
Yeah.
weakly, strongly?
Oh, what are we noticing here? Forcefully.
Is there an E?
Yes.
Yes, because it has to be there for the C to say S. Is it 2 L's or 1 L?
2 L's.
Look at us using those phonics skills.
Yeah.
Right? I knew Grace C had to say S because
Yeah.
of the E, so the E has to stay. Otherwise it'd be gracefully.
That's not right.
That's not right. And the E makes A say its name, so it has to have a vowel there. Gracefully,
Smoothly.
smoothly. Is that right?
Forcefully.
Yeah. Flow. Gently.
Ooh.
Mr. Kevin, I need your help. Endings are so hard. L-E-Y?
Oh, L-Y.
L-Y. Yeah.
Gently. Yeah.
Bravely.
Ooh.
Thinking about skateboarding.
What's a word for like out of control?
Wildly.
Yes. How can you ride something? What's a way to ride? Not bravely, confidently.
Ooh, that's a good word.
think that's good.
Yeah, I can't think of any quickly anymore.
Okay. Prepositional phrase. What's that, Miss Oslin?
Prepositional phrase tells you where this is happening.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah?
It's like the glue.
Tell me more.
It helps stick all the things together.
I love that.
I like it.
Yep.
Okay.
Prepositional phrases are like glue
They stick it all
together. They fill in the holes.
They do.
Can you give us an example of a prepositional phrase?
On the table.
On. You actually just do on or the, and then you use the noun to tell where it is.
Oh.
So on and the are the words that
Got it.
glue them together.
Yep.
They're like glue. So I like to remember prepositional phrase by always drawing a little glue bottle
Love it.
to remind me that these are the glue.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we have adjectives, nouns, or person, place. We have all these things, but then we say prepositional phrase and nobody has a mnemonic device to remember it.
Nope.
It's like glue. It's like gluing all your words together.
I love it.
Otherwise, it sounds like toddlers. Like Oliver right now, he'll go, counter, apple, please,
Oh, yeah.
rather than, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Can I have the apple that's on the counter,
counter.
please? He just says, counter, apple, please. He doesn't use prepositional phrases yet.
Not yet.
So that's a much more elegant way to speak, don't you
Yes.
think? There are other languages that do that. English is hung up on prepositions.
Right. We really are.
Other languages, counter apple please is the
It's
way
totally fine.
to ask for
Yep.
an
Yep.
apple on the counter.
Well, it's effective. I know what he wants. He's communicated.
Next to.
Ooh. Next to.
Ooh. You have under, but I was just thinking beneath.
Oh, can you spell that for me?
Beneath.
I have a lot of
Yeah.
anxiety about spelling because that's always been hard for me.
Yeah.
So when I spell on camera and in front of people, I love to have someone to ask if I'm not sure.
Over.
It's like the position words, right? Of.
Of.
To.
Then we probably don't need it here. Just next.
Yeah, we can add the to
Yeah. Separately, just so that we know it doesn't have
beneath
to be.
the,
Yeah.
over the, under the. I think that's good for
Yeah.
now. If you can think of any more, let us know in the flip
Behind.
grid. Behind.
A.
Ooh, A. That's a good one. We use that one a lot. Okay.
So how do we use this?
Are you
Great.
ready?
Because I was
question.
looking at
It goes
an
like
invisible
this.
ferry boat.
Yep.
Invisible, tall ferry boats. Invisible, tall ferry boats. Invisible, tall ferry boats. Strongly flow in
We need in.
the water.
Okay.
Isn't that cool, Mr. Kevin?
Yeah.
So if when we're sing the song, naming the part of speech, and then students we can go back and add in what adjective.
Right.
So it goes adjective, noun,
Adjective, adjective, noun. Adjective, adjective, noun. Verb.
verb, prepositional phrase.
Oh, I did that wrong.
my
Adjective,
gosh.
adjective, noun. Adjective, adjective, noun. Adjective, noun, adverb, verbs, prepositional phrase.
That
It's a
is
tongue twister.
tricky.
So I
It
think what we should do, Miss Oslin, is come
Yes.
up with a sentence to
Okay.
answer these questions for each one. Just one
Love it.
sentence. Your job is going to be to write a whole paragraph answering either of these sentences.
Yes.
You can use what we've just created to help you write your evidence beneath about how objects move or remain still, or how we use forces to solve problems. So,
Yes.
how do objects move or remain still?
Okay.
Okay. I have one, but I want to give you a chance to do it.
Cars. I have to kind of say it out loud.
It's fine.
Cars wildly accelerate on the road. Okay, have one.
Okay.
Are you-
Go ahead.
Okay. Heavy cars.
Just going to use one for cars.
Yep.
Okay.
Heavy cars wildly accelerate on the road.
Ooh. I love it.
You know what? How this chart helps me is I could just say cars accelerate or cars go on the road. But having the adjective and the adverb really add detail to how they do it.
Okay, I have one.
Okay.
Tiny, smooth limpets
Ooh.
forcefully suction
Ooh.
on the bulkhead.
Wow.
How did the object move or remain still? Well, it remains still by suctioning on the bulkhead.
Forcefully.
Forcefully suctioning. See how that works?
Yeah.
Think about how amazing your writing's going to be, and your teacher's going to be like, what? You'd be like, yeah, I'm great at sentence writing now.
Mr. Kevin?
Okay, my turn.
Okay.
Slimy skateboards.
Slimy? I think this is going to be a joke.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Slimy skateboards smoothly glided over the road.
Ooh, I can see it in my head.
I totally
He
can.
added some, and you don't have to use only the verbs on here. You can add more as you're going.
Yeah.
Okay, how do we use forces to solve problems?
Oh, okay.
Gigantic, heavy trees are forcefully chopped down in the forest.
Wow. What problem does that solve?
Needing wood for fire or shelter.
Wow. Chopped. That was a different verb. I like
Yep.
that. That's exciting. Okay, mine was graceful, gigantic ferry boats
Ooh.
gracefully float to Vashon Island.
What problem does that solve?
Getting to Vashon Island.
Hey, I couldn't get there without the boat.
Nope.
So friends, what you're going to do today is pick one of these questions. You want to show it up on the screen, Mr. Kevin, for us?
I would be happy to.
You're going to pick one of these questions and you're going to write a 5-sentence paragraph to answer it. You need to have a topic sentence, which is something like, we use many forces to solve problems, or there are a multitude of ways objects move or remain still.
I like that.
That's
Multitude.
a good word, right? Hook your reader.
Yeah.
Then make 3 sentences out of your sentencing patterning chart that answer that question, and then a concluding sentence.
Love it. And you can.
Put it on Flipgrid. Now, on Flipgrid, you can read it to us, you can show it to us, you can put it to a song, you can do whatever you want. But you'll post down below this episode your paragraph about answering one of our essential questions. Now, keep this sentencing patterning chart in your head because as you're writing, you can use this for stories, for informational text, for anything you're writing about. Once you know what your topic is, you can list out the adjectives, nouns, adverb, verbs, and prepositional phrases and start to make really amazing complex sentences.
And once you get started, like you added the verb chop
It's so fun.
because you started thinking about trees. So then you can add more to your chart.
I could sit here
So
all
much
day
fun.
and do it.
Now, if you're not comfortable with Flipgrid, that's okay.
No
you can
problem.
send it to us in a multitude of ways.
Oh, she used the word.
That's right, third graders. Send it in an email to tvclassroom@tacoma.k12.wa.us. Or you can mail us here at the TV Classroom headquarters right downtown Tacoma at 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.
And when you do send us or post your work, we will add your name. We still have our Derby car kit that we haven't
We
given
do.
away yet.
We haven't.
We also got stickers from Taylor at Alchemy Skate that we
did.
could give away.
I would love to give them
So,
away.
Make sure you send us your work so that we can enter your name into a drawing. Ooh, you could also win
This
sentence
Sentence
patterning
patterning
chart.
chart.
Ooh, wouldn't that be fun? All right, third graders, now is time for our affirmation. It's the time of the day when we get to say positive, uplifting things about ourselves before we go off to complete our independent work. So today, I think we need to remind ourselves about what strong writers we are.
I was thinking the same thing.
Were you?
Yep.
Did you have one in mind? Like,
I'm a strong writer.
love it. All right, let's all take a deep breath. Say our affirmation.
I am a strong writer.
Excellent job today, third graders. We hope you have a great rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you back here next time in our TV classroom.
Bye, friends.
Rules. 1. You have 10 seconds to pick your crewmate. 2. A new timer will appear with an exercise for the crewmate you picked. 3. You will get 10 points for each correct crewmate and exercise you choose. 4. If you pick the imposter, you will lose all your points. 5. See how many points you can get. Good luck.